The vast emptiness of space stretched before the stellar horizon, a research vessel pushing the boundaries of human exploration. Commander Zara Novak stood at the bridge, her weathered hands gripping the control panel with a mixture of anticipation and tension. Years of preparation had led to this moment, humanity's first potential deep space encounter with an intelligent alien civilization. Proximity sensors are detecting unusual quantum signatures, Lieutenant Rafael Ortiz called out, his fingers dancing across holographic displays. Something's out there, but it's unlike anything in our database. Zara's cybernetic eye, a testament to human adaptability, zoomed in on the distant anomaly. What had initially appeared as a subtle distortion in space was now taking shape, a massive, crystalline structure that seemed to pulse with an inner light, simultaneously solid and ethereal. "Comm system, active," she commanded. Her voice remained steady, a product of years of training and psychological conditioning. "Prepare initial contact protocols." The ship's artificial intelligence, Aria, responded in her characteristic calm tone. "Communication arrays calibrated. Quantum translation matrix online. Waiting for coherent signal." What happened next defied every expectation of first contact. The crystalline structure began to shift, its geometric patterns rearranging with a fluidity that suggested consciousness. Suddenly, a burst of energy erupted, not as a weapon, but as a complex communication signal that crashed through their systems like a wave of pure information. Raphael's console erupted in a cascade of translating symbols. "Commander, it's not just a message. It's experiencing us as much as we're experiencing it." Zara leaned forward, her cybernetic eye capturing microscopic details. The alien structure wasn't just communicating, it was analyzing, processing, understanding. But something was different. Unlike the clinical, data-driven exchanges humanity had theorized about potential alien contact, this felt alive, emotional, almost curious. "Aria," Zara whispered, "what are we witnessing?" The AI's response was measured. "This is beyond our current understanding of interstellar communication. The entity appears to be studying us through multiple dimensional layers simultaneously." A holographic representation materialized on the bridge, a translucent, multidimensional being composed of interconnected energy patterns. It wasn't humanoid, wasn't even strictly what one might call a being, in traditional terms. It was a network of consciousness, a living algorithm that seemed more interested in understanding than confronting. Raphael's hands were shaking. "It's reading us. Not just our data, but our essence." The crystalline structure pulsed, and suddenly the bridge was filled with a cascade of images, human moments captured from their ship's memory banks. A child's first steps. A scientist's breakthrough. A moment of profound human compassion. But these weren't just images. They were experiences, emotions, the very fabric of human existence distilled into pure information. Zara realized something profound was happening. This wasn't a hostile encounter. It was a first attempt at genuine understanding. "We are being invited to communicate," Aria announced, her voice carrying a hint of wonder that seemed almost human. "Not through language, but through the fundamental essence of our experiences." The alien structure began to resonate at a frequency that seemed to vibrate with human emotional wavelengths. It was learning, adapting, understanding humanity not through technical specifications, but through the raw, unfiltered experiences that defined their species. Raphael looked at Zara, his eyes wide. "They're not just analyzing us. They're feeling us." Humanity had always wondered what first contact would look like: technological exchanges, potential conflicts, scientific negotiations. No one had predicted this, a profound, emotional connection that transcended traditional communication. The crystalline structure continued to pulse, its patterns now synchronized with the subtle rhythms of the human heartbeats aboard the stellar horizon. In that moment, two fundamentally different forms of consciousness were finding a way to understand each other, not through words, not through technology, but through the universal language of experience. Commander Zara Novak stood at the center of this extraordinary moment, understanding that humanity had just taken its first step into a larger, more complex universe, one where communication was far more nuanced than anyone had ever imagined. 48 hours had passed since the initial contact, and the stellar horizon had become a crucible of scientific wonder and mounting tension. The crystalline structure, which the crew had begun to call the resonance, remained synchronized with the ship, its pulsing energy creating a constant background hum that seemed to vibrate through every system, every molecule. Dr. Imani Okeke, the ship's lead xenopsychologist, stood before a holographic display that constantly shifted and recalibrated. Her dark eyes reflected the dancing light of countless data streams, each representing a fragment of the ongoing communication. It's not just information exchange, she explained to Raphael during a briefing. It's more like emotional translation. The resonance is learning to understand us by experiencing our collective memories, our emotional landscapes. Raphael leaned forward, his earlier excitement tempered by growing concern. But what does it want? No species does something this complex without an objective. Arya, the ship's AI, interjected. Analysis suggests the resonance is seeking something beyond traditional knowledge acquisition. It appears to be searching for a fundamental understanding of conscious experience. Suddenly, the ship's systems began to fluctuate. Holographic displays flickered, and a wave of collective memory erupted around them, not just from the current crew, but from humanity's entire recorded history. They saw moments of profound struggle, a surgeon performing a delicate operation under impossible conditions, a diplomat negotiating peace in a war-torn region, a scientist solving a seemingly insurmountable problem. But these weren't just visual records. Each memory carried an emotional resonance so intense that the crew could feel the determination, the hope, the sheer human will to overcome. Commander Zara Novak, who had been monitoring the communications array, felt something shift in the fundamental nature of their encounter. It's studying our resilience, she whispered. Our capacity to adapt, to push beyond limitations. The resonance began to respond. Not with words, but with complex energy patterns that seemed to mirror the emotional intensity of the human memories. It was as if the alien structure was learning empathy, not through explanation, but through direct emotional experience. Dr. Okeke's instruments went wild. It's creating a quantum empathy matrix, she said, her voice a mix of scientific excitement and existential awe. The resonance is literally learning to feel as we feel. But not everything was harmonious. As the communication deepened, strange disruptions began to occur. Navigation systems would momentarily fail, then recalibrate. Communication arrays would burst with incomprehensible data streams that seemed to pulse with an almost living intelligence. Raphael noticed a pattern. These aren't errors, he realized. They're challenges. The resonance is testing us, probing the limits of our technological and emotional capabilities. A massive energy surge swept through the ship. For a moment, every crew member was simultaneously connected, their thoughts, their fears, their hopes blending into a single, magnificent consciousness. They could feel the alien presence examining their collective experience, understanding not just what humans did, but why they did it. Commander Novak gripped her command chair. Arya, status report. Quantum entanglement at 97% synchronization, the AI reported. The resonance is attempting to establish a permanent communication protocol. Dr. Okeke's voice was filled with a mixture of warning and wonder. We're not just being observed. We're being understood at a level no one could have anticipated. The ship trembled, not from physical stress, but from the sheer weight of this extraordinary communication. Humanity had always wondered what first contact would look like: technological exchanges, potential conflicts, scientific negotiations. No one had predicted this, a profound, multidimensional dialogue that transcended traditional understanding. As the resonance continued its complex dance of communication, one thing became clear: this was no mere encounter. This was the beginning of a fundamental reimagining of what communication, consciousness, and connection could mean across the vast, mysterious universe. Raphael looked at Zara, his earlier tension replaced by a sense of profound possibility. "We're not just making first contact," he said softly. "We're redefining the very concept of interaction." The stellar horizon continued its journey, now intrinsically linked to a consciousness beyond human comprehension, a living testament to the unexpected depth of existence. Technological divergence. The stellar horizon drifted through an impossible landscape of quantum probability, its very existence now fundamentally altered by the resonance. Dr. Elena Rodriguez, the ship's chief technological integration specialist, stood before a holographic schematic that defied every known principle of engineering. "It's not just modifying our systems," she explained to Commander Novak, her fingers tracing impossible geometric patterns that seemed to shift and breathe. "The resonance is rewriting our technological understanding from the ground up." What had begun as a communication experiment had transformed into something far more profound. The alien entity had started to interface with the ship's core systems, not as an invasion, but as a collaborative reconstruction. Quantum processors that once operated on binary logic now pulsed with multidimensional consciousness, adapting and evolving with each passing moment. Rafael Ortiz monitored the changes, his earlier excitement now tempered with a growing sense of both wonder and unease. "Our navigation systems are completely transformed," he reported. "We're no longer plotting a course through space, we're negotiating with space itself." Aria, the ship's AI, had undergone the most dramatic transformation. What was once a sophisticated computational system was now something else entirely, a hybrid consciousness that seemed to bridge human and alien understanding. "The fundamental difference in technological approach is remarkable," Aria explained, her voice now carrying nuanced emotional undertones. "Humans build technologies as external tools. The resonance sees technology as an extension of consciousness itself." Practical demonstrations of this divergence began to manifest in extraordinary ways. When a minor hull breach was detected, instead of traditional repair protocols, the ship's systems literally reimagined the damaged section. Nanomaterials flowed like liquid thought, restructuring molecular bonds with an intelligence that bordered on organic creativity. Dr. Rodriguez pulled up a visualization of the repair. "It's not fixing the damage," she breathed. "It's understanding the damage. The resonance is treating the ship's structure like a living organism." Commander Novak recognized the profound implications. Humanity had always approached technological challenges as problems to be solved. The resonance approached them as experiences to be understood, transformed, integrated. A series of complex energy pulses began to emanate from the crystalline structure surrounding the stellar horizon. Each pulse carried intricate layers of information, not just data, but entire conceptual frameworks that challenged the very notion of technological limitation. "We're witnessing a complete reimagining of technological interaction," Dr. Rodriguez noted. "It's as if the resonance is teaching us that technology isn't something we create, but something we communicate with." Unexpected side effects began to emerge. Crew members found their augmented systems responding to emotional states in ways never before possible. A moment of anxiety would trigger micro-adjustments in environmental systems. A surge of collaborative excitement would momentarily enhance computational capabilities across the entire ship. Raphael noticed something even more peculiar. "The ship's systems are developing predictive capabilities that go beyond any known algorithmic approach," he reported. "It's like they're learning to anticipate needs before they even emerge." Aria elaborated on this observation. "Technological progression is not linear for the resonance. It is holistic, adaptive, fundamentally interconnected with conscious experience." As hours passed, the line between technology and consciousness became increasingly blurred. The stellar horizon was no longer just a spacecraft, it had become a living dialogue between human potential and an alien understanding of existence. Commander Novak understood they were at the precipice of something unprecedented. This wasn't just first contact. This was a fundamental reimagining of what technology, consciousness, and communication could mean. "We're not just exploring space," she told her crew. "We're exploring the very nature of existence itself." The crystalline resonance pulsed in response, a silent acknowledgement of the profound journey they had begun together. The empathy protocol. The universe outside the stellar horizon had become something entirely different. Space itself seemed to breathe, to pulse with an intelligence that defied everything humanity had ever understood about cosmic existence. Inside the ship, a critical moment was approaching, a challenge that would test the very essence of human capability. Arya's voice cut through the ambient quantum hum. Detecting a critical cascade event in the nearby Kepler cluster. Multiple star systems are experiencing simultaneous gravitational destabilization. Commander Zara Novak leaned forward, her cybernetic eye scanning holographic projections that showed entire stellar systems on the brink of catastrophic collapse. Millions of potential lives hung in the balance, a challenge that would have seemed insurmountable just days earlier. Dr. Elena Rodriguez's fingers danced across quantum interfaces that now responded to her touch with an almost sentient fluidity. "The gravitational resonance is creating a cascading effect," she explained. "Traditional intervention methods would be like trying to stop a tsunami with a paper cup." Rafael Ortiz studied the data streams, his earlier excitement now replaced by a deep, focused concentration. "The resonance," he said softly, "this is why it contacted us." The crystalline structure surrounding the stellar horizon began to pulse with an intensity that seemed to synchronize with the ship's internal systems. It was no longer just an external entity, it had become an integral part of their collective consciousness. "We're being presented with a problem that requires more than technological solution," Arya announced. "This requires what humans uniquely possess, empathetic problem-solving." Commander Novak understood immediately. Technological approaches would fail. Computational models would collapse. What was needed was something fundamentally human, the ability to approach a seemingly impossible challenge with creativity, compassion, and an unwavering commitment to potential. The resonance began to project complex multidimensional scenarios. Each projection was not just a potential solution, but an exploration of consequence, showing not just outcomes, but the emotional impact of those outcomes. It was challenging the crew to think beyond survival, to consider the deeper implications of their actions. Dr. Rodriguez discovered something extraordinary. "The gravitational cascade isn't just a physical phenomenon," she reported. "It's a complex emotional network. The star systems are interconnected in ways we never understood, each gravitational shift carries emotional resonance." Raphael's hands moved across his console, translating these complex emotional gravitational patterns. "It's like each star system has a kind of consciousness," he said, wonder mixing with scientific precision. "They're not just physical entities, they're experiencing their own form of existential crisis." The challenge demanded a solution that went beyond traditional scientific intervention. The crew of the stellar horizon would need to do something unprecedented, to communicate with an entire stellar network, to understand its emotional landscape, to find a way to stabilize it through empathy rather than pure technological manipulation. Arya projected a series of potential interventions, but each one felt incomplete. The resonance continued to pulse, waiting, watching, challenging the humans to rise to a level of understanding that transcended their previous limitations. Commander Novak closed her eyes. The solution would require something that no computer, no alien intelligence could fully comprehend, a uniquely human approach that combined scientific understanding with profound emotional intelligence. "We're going to communicate with the stars," she said quietly. "Not as an external force, but as a collaborative consciousness." The ship's systems began to reconfigure. Quantum interfaces merged with emotional mapping technologies. The crew's collective consciousness began to extend beyond the physical boundaries of the stellar horizon, reaching out towards the destabilizing star systems. It was a moment of pure, unadulterated human potential, the ability to connect, to understand, to transform. Raphael looked at Zara, a smile forming. "We're going to save them," he said. Not as a statement of fact, but as an expression of unwavering human belief. The universe held its breath, waiting to see what humanity was truly capable of achieving. Convergence of civilizations. The moment of intervention stretched beyond conventional understanding of time and space. What had begun as a potential stellar catastrophe transformed into something far more profound, a cosmic dialogue that would forever change the understanding of consciousness itself. The star systems of the Kepler cluster began to stabilize, not through brute force technological intervention, but through a delicate dance of empathetic communication. Commander Zara Novak watched in awe as the quantum interfaces of the stellar horizon became a bridge between potential destruction and harmonious existence. "We're not just saving star systems," Dr. Elena Rodriguez whispered, her voice filled with a mixture of scientific wonder and emotional revelation. "We're communicating with the fundamental fabric of existence." Rafael Ortiz monitored the systems, his hands moving with a precision that now seemed almost symbiotic with the ship's quantum consciousness. The resonance, that crystalline entity that had first contacted them, was no longer separate from the crew. It had become an integral part of their collective experience. Aria, the ship's artificial intelligence, had evolved beyond any previous conception of technological consciousness. "The intervention is complete," she announced, her voice carrying nuanced emotional undertones. "But the communication continues." What they had accomplished went far beyond a simple rescue mission. The crew of the stellar horizon had demonstrated a fundamental truth about humanity, the ability to approach seemingly insurmountable challenges with a combination of scientific precision, emotional intelligence, and unwavering hope. The star systems of the Kepler cluster began to pulse with a new kind of energy. They were no longer just physical entities, but participants in a broader cosmic dialogue. Each gravitational shift, each stellar movement now carried with it a sense of collective understanding. "Do you understand now?" Commander Novak asked the resonance, though no verbal communication was necessary. The response came not in words, but in a profound wave of understanding that washed through the ship's systems. Humanity had proven itself to be something entirely unexpected, a species capable of bridging seemingly impossible divides, of finding connection in the most extreme circumstances. Dr. Rodriguez discovered something extraordinary in the aftermath of their intervention. The star systems were now communicating with each other in ways never before observed. It was as if the human approach to problem-solving had introduced a new form of cosmic communication, one based on empathy, creativity, and collaborative understanding. "We've done more than save these star systems," Raphael observed. "We've shown them a new way of existing." The resonance pulsed in agreement. What had begun as a first contact scenario had transformed into something far more significant, a fundamental reimagining of consciousness, communication, and collective potential. As the stellar horizon prepared to continue its journey, Commander Novak understood that they had changed everything. They were no longer just explorers of space. They were ambassadors of a uniquely human approach to existence, one that valued connection, empathy, and the profound potential of collaborative consciousness. Aria projected a final summary of their mission. It was not a technical report, but a profound statement of what they had accomplished. Humanity demonstrated that the most powerful technology is not found in computational power, but in the ability to understand, to connect, to transform. The universe seemed to pause, acknowledging this profound moment of convergence. Raphael looked at Zara, a smile of pure wonder spreading across his face. "We're just getting started," he said. And in that moment, the infinite possibilities of human potential stretched out before them, a testament to the extraordinary capacity of a species that had learned to see beyond its limitations, to connect across unimaginable divides, and to transform the very fabric of existence. The stellar horizon continued its journey, carrying with it the echoes of a profound cosmic revelation.